A lonely high school student gets an angel roommate. Shintarō Tokumitsu is a high schooler living all alone. But things take an unexpected turn when a girl named Towa shows up on his balcony. Not only is she incredibly pure and sweet, but there's something different about her, something divine. Discover the identity of Shintaro Tokumitsu's new roommate and the amusing antics that are in store. The first episode begins with a voice talking about how she was told to learn more about humans, after which she decided to visit the human world. She loves the nice lights of the city at night. She also feels that this will be the start of something wonderful. Then we get to see the loner high school protagonist, on whom an extra long shift really did a number. He makes small talk with a cat, as no human girl would ever talk to him. But it might just be a bit too late for him. It's been a month since he entered high school and started living alone. After he goes to his bed to sleep, a feather comes inside his room from the window. Soon he is about to get a studio apartment with good lighting, angel included. The next day, due to a cold, he feels terrible. Then he notices the open window while hoping that nobody snuck into his room. He finds a really cute angel who actually did sneak into his room. The guy gets really scared seeing her, even though I do not understand why he is scared of a sleeping cute girl. His ruckus actually woke her up, and we get to see her beautiful eyes. Man, seeing this loser get such a nice cutie is making me very, very jealous. Tokumitsu is still very confused as to what is going on here. He thinks that maybe this girl is a thief, a cosplayer, or a runaway girl, and now that balcony trespasser is using his bath. Maybe he is being pranked for a TV show on YouTube, an unruly anime channel, or maybe for an online video. So he starts looking for cameras everywhere. Then the girl asks for some new clothes to wear because she just finished taking a bath. He gives her some interesting clothes. Saying that this is all he has left. The girl then says that she was looking for a place to sleep, and his home is where she found one. Then she introduces herself as Towa, and the boy introduces himself as Shintaro Tokumitsu. The girl considers Tokumitsu to be very pure-hearted and is glad that God made this meeting possible with Shintaro Tokumitsu. I guess being a loner got him some pure energy points. Now Tokumitsu also thinks that Towa seems like a nice girl, very clean and proper. Now Towa also wanted to greet his family, but the loner lives alone, not with his family, so that cannot be done. This surprises Towa, as she was not expecting him to be living in such a huge mansion all alone. I guess she thinks that the whole apartment building belongs to this loner. Then she gets instantly surprised after learning that this one room is his entire home. Sad but true reality. Towa thought that this one room was just a storage room for the whole mansion. It does look like it, given the mess in here. Then, to not make his life even sadder, Towa says that Tokumitsu does have a very compact and convenient home. This makes him think that she seems nice. However, still, she is kind of weird. Then Towa shows her interest in wanting to repay Toku for giving her a place to sleep. She asks if there is anything he would like her to do. She does not want him to be shy about asking anything. Towa getting so close suddenly rises up his heartbeat, but she is ready to do anything in her power. Now, anything is a dangerous word. I hope he will utilize it carefully. Thankfully, Tokumitsu keeps his senses in control and just says that he does not want anything from her, even though I can pretty clearly see what he exactly wants. In that case, Towa decides to at least cook for him. She can make delicious food, but she fails to find any ingredients. Tokumitsu pretty much never cooks. Then she decides to at least just clean his place up. But in the process of that, she might get to see some stuff that he does not want her to see. Then she goes outside his balcony to stop some cats fighting because God said, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." Good enough. But why is she preaching it to cats? One of them even scratched her a little. I guess cats do not care about God's teachings. After bandaging her fingers, Tokumitsu asks her not to worry about those cats, as they're also seen napping together often. Then he tells her that it's too dangerous for a girl to spend nights away from home, so Towa should go back. But her home is in heaven, and Tokumitsu does not know what prefecture that is in. but Towa tells him that heaven is God's home. Then Towa also reveals that she is an angel, albeit not a biblically accurate one, as then Tokumitsu would have been wetting his pants right now. Towa came to Earth last night on God's orders. She was told to study humans on behalf of all angels. Lately, the angels haven't had many chances to interact with humans. She has always had an interest in him, though, so she was happy to have the opportunity. This is her first time visiting the living world, and she has nowhere to go. This scares Tokumitsu, as he thinks that this girl is no ordinary runaway, as she might just be mentally unstable. Then Towa requests that he allow her to stay here for a while as she wants to repay him. But then soon the time comes for him to go to work. So he gives Towa her now dried clothes back. And since he does not want to stay with some mentally unstable girl, he just gets her out and locks the door. He does, however, offer to walk with her part ways. Towa then just thanked him for everything he did for her. But now he is having doubts as to whether he is doing the right thing. At work, he feels sick, so he takes an early leave. His head is feeling very fuzzy, but still he keeps thinking about Towa and hopes that she actually went home. But then he sees Towa walking down the path with some dude looking like her dad, but he is not her dad. She was walking around, unsure of where to go. This kind man invited her to go to a hotel with him. Everything about that felt very wrong, so Tokumitsu takes her with him instead. But he is very sick, so he just passes out and then wakes up again back at his home, getting cared for by none other than Towa. Now he is feeling a lot better. Towa starts crying and thanking God that he is all right. And here she thought he was going to get reincarnated into another world after that. I guess wrong anime. Towa had also made some porridge for Tokumitsu, since she could not find any rice. She just made it with some leftover bread and milk. She also put in lots of sugar, which I do not think is healthy, but maybe Angel is too stupid to know that. She even feeds him with her own beautiful, delicate, and soft hands. Tokumitsu says, "It is really good. Man, this guy is enjoying life. It's been ages since anyone's cooked for him. Probably her mother would have been the only one to do so." Then he asks her not to follow any strangers around, as no one can know what they will do to her. There are 4 worse people out there than this sweet angel could ever imagine. But then again, she has nowhere to go for now. So Tokumitsu decides that he will let her live here with him. This makes her really happy, and she even gives Tokumitsu a hug of his life. She might be crazy and a bit goofy, but he just knows that she is probably a good girl. And even if something bad happens later, at least he is enjoying his life for now. Now Tokumitsu wonders how did she get him all the way home. So Towa says that she is an angel, so she can fly. And we also get to see her beautiful wings, with which she managed to easily carry him here. Now at least he can be sure that the girl is not crazy, because if he is seeing these wings, then if someone is crazy, then it must be he himself. The next day, he wakes up and thinks that maybe it was all a dream, but then he sees her sleeping next to him. This is a scary thing for him, so he screams. His screaming also wakes Towa up, and she says that she is in his bed because there's only one bed. Then they go to buy food. There Towa spots an offer where you can get a plate if you collect enough stickers from this bread. But this is confusing for her because why would someone get a plate for buying bread? Isn't a plate more valuable? Tokumitsu is worried about her wings, which are showing. He asks her to hurry up and hide them. Towa is sorry. It's just that they show up whenever she gets excited. She was taught not to expose them on Earth, but sometimes things just get out of control for her. She had learned all about the mortal realm from the book called The Good Kid's Guide to Life on Earth. But Tokumitsu is wondering, what do angels even do? Towa tells him that angels convey God's will to the people, and to ensure souls do not lose their way between heaven and earth. These are their primary jobs. It sounds really hectic, as there are a lot of humans. But bringing happiness to humans is also part of their job. But what does that kind of happiness mean? Now this is confusing for even her, so she believes that was the kind of thing God wanted her to learn. I wonder what God would have done to the guy who was about to take her to the hotel. She also liked the bread very much and now requests this bread for every meal. But if they buy 2 of every meal at the convenience store, then he does not think that the food money his parents gave him will cover it. So they'll have to cook to avoid bankruptcy. Then they decide to go shopping for food ingredients and day-to-day supplies. Then she checks if his fever has receded, which once again raises his heartbeat due to her getting a bit too close to him. The shopping mall is like a palace for Towa due to it being Sunday. It is really crowded, and it's really hard for Tokumitsu to keep Towa near him as she runs at the first chance of seeing anything, even a little bit interesting. Towa also offers to make the basket float if it gets too heavy, but that would expose her wings. So of course Tokumitsu is against that idea. Then she notices a very cute cup. It had a cute cat on it, which resembled the cats that were on the balcony yesterday. She likes it, but there are already cups at Tokumitsu's house, so she just puts it back. But then everyone starts gathering near Towa, as they think she is very different from all the others. So Tokumitsu thinks that they should probably get some clothes first. It was a good thing that he saved up his pay and whatever extra he had in his budget. Towa is a bit worried, as she does not want to make Tokumitsu spend too much. But for now, it is all right for him. Towa buys a lot of nice-looking clothes, which make her really happy. Towa is still wondering about what she can do to bring happiness to Tokumitsu, especially after he has been doing so much for her happiness. So she goes to Tokumitsu, grabs his hands, and vows to bring happiness into his life. Everyone around seems to think that she just proposed. Then, after buying some food, they head home. Back at home, Towa tells Tokumitsu that she was really happy today as Tokumitsu was with her there. She also notices that the cup she liked is also here, which means Tokumitsu did buy it. It's her mug now, and this makes her really happy once again. Tokumitsu also had a great time. However, sleeping on the same bed like this is certainly very troubling for him. The next day, Towa prepares a nice breakfast for Tokumitsu. He also got to eat really nice dinner last night. He is basically just being spoiled rotten. He is amazed to see that she can cook so many delicious dishes. The rice is fresh, the miso soup is hot, and the stewed stuff is succulent. Finally, he can say goodbye to his miserable life of eating convenience store meals and bread every day. Food made by somebody at home tastes so good. This is all part of that vow that Towa took to bring happiness to his life. She is not only cute but also a great cook. But now Tokumitsu wonders if he deserves to actually live such a good life. This makes Towa think that he probably did not like the food, which, of course, is not the case. Then he asks if he can do anything for the beautiful Towa, who is keeping him so happy. Towa feels that he is already doing a lot just by letting her stay here. But there is something she would like to ask him. She wants to know how to use the bath. So he takes her in the bathroom and tells her to first close the curtain so that she does not get the mates and the floor all wet. Then she needs to make sure the curtain is inside the tub. Next, he tells her about how to turn the dial to get hot water, and also about blocking the drain. This allows Towa to take a nice bath. But having a girl take a bath at his place is getting Tokumitsu all on edge. His imagination is running. He decides to watch TV or something to take his mind off all this, but still, he just can't stop picturing it. It is just too much for him. He cannot live like this. Just think about it. A girl's going to be changing, bathing, and sleeping at his place. It's pure hell for him. He should study as he has an English quiz tomorrow, but focusing is really hard. After getting into a groove, he finally manages to focus. But while going for a toilet break, he spots Towa still in there. He quickly gets out and closes the door, while begging to be forgiven. He says that he totally forgot that she was still in there. But it is all right for Towa, as she understands that mistakes do happen sometimes. Then he curses the Japanese all-in-one bathroom. Then Towa peeks out the door a bit and tells Tokumitsu that she will close the curtain and wait. So now he can go ahead and use the toilet. But it is all right for Tokumitsu as well, because the surprise he got to see got rid of his urge to pee for now. Once she is done bathing, Tokumitsu also takes a nice bath. He thinks about how, when he was alone, he did not have to worry about anyone being on the other side of him. Then suddenly, Towa comes in and offers to wash his back for him. He quickly pulls the curtain and says that he is good, as there is no need for that. Then later, he also cannot even sleep in peace, as Towa is always just beside him. Studio apartment or not, they are just way too close here. Towa has dozed off, but Tokumitsu just cannot sleep due to all the tension that is building inside of him. He definitely needs to get an extra bed tomorrow. The next day, he wakes up sleep-deprived. It was too early in the morning, so he decided to take a quick leak and get back to sleep. But once again, he finds Towa right after opening the door. Once again, he is truly sorry, just like I am. Since these kinds of things are continuing to happen, Tokumitsu decides that there should be some ground rules. Then he thinks about leaving the bathroom door open when not using it. That way, when it is closed, someone will know that someone is still inside. But then, right when he was about to start dropping, the doo-doo, Towa, came in to brush her teeth, causing another incident to happen. Right now, Tokumitsu just wants to disappear. Then we come to day 3 of his life together with an angel. He was being spoiled even more, and he was also super sleep deprived. Food is certainly still just as delicious as ever. Now it is time for him to go to school. Then Towa also starts preparing to leave with him. But Tokumitsu does not want to take her to his school. Everyone will be shocked. But then Towa says that she cannot bring him happiness when she is not with him. This is why she wants to go with him. But Tokumitsu declines, making Towa a bit sad. Then, before leaving, he leaves for some money just in case. He also asks that if she could, he would really appreciate it if she would just stay home and wait for him while watching TV or something. While on his way, he still feels very sleepy, and he is so full that he feels like he is about to puke. But just then his friend comes from behind and suddenly hits his back. All kinds of gross stuff was just about to come out, but he managed to keep it inside. He scolds his friend for being a jerk, while a girl also comes there to scold his friend. She is also worried about Tokumitsu, as he is looking a bit pale. He just tells them he failed to get much sleep due to work. The friend also notes how the girl is being quite nice to Tokumitsu while not being very nice to him. It looks like Towa has some competition coming. Back at home, Towa is cleaning up the whole apartment while also doing the laundry. She just wants Tokumitsu to come back home soon. Then she starts wondering about what Tokumitsu going to do for lunch, as he said that he would be back by evening. She imagines Tokumitsu starving and being very unhappy due to it. However, in actuality, he is just having some vegetable juice for lunch, as he ate too much for breakfast. His classmate is worried about whether he is eating right or not, since she knows that he just cannot cook his own food. But then Tokumitsu just says that there is nothing to worry about, as there is an angel at his home to take care of him. Actually, he was just about to say it, but stopped right on time so as not to reveal his secret. Then he quickly says that the occasional staff meals at work help him a lot. But then she offers to make lunch for him. This is just because she is worried about his diet. As a friend, she makes her own lunch, so adding one more won't make any difference. Hearing this, the other friend asks if she can make lunch for him too. This one she declines, as it will be too much work. She can make 2, but not 3. And while his 2 classmates are arguing, Tokumitsu spots Towa just outside the window. This makes him scream, worrying the others around him. He then says it's nothing while asking Towa to go to the roof. The other boys who see Towa think that maybe all their stress is making them see things that are not actually there. Then Tokumitsu meets Towa on top of the roof. He is not happy to see her here, despite him asking her to stay at home. Also, her wings being totally visible is another issue. Now he has no idea what he should do. If people find out that angels exist, it will be all over the news. Towa then tells him about how she was worried about his lunch, but since her actions just caused trouble for Tokumitsu, she decides to leave. Then Tokumitsu feels sorry for pouting when she brought lunch for him, so he invites her to have lunch with him. This makes the angel happy again, and we get to see her beautiful smile. Like always, once again, the food Towa made is great. There is also the dish, which he said he loved. Last night, she made it for him again. It remained in her memory because what Tokumitsu said made her happy. She wants to learn more about the things he likes. Tokumitsu is very happy, as he has started to enjoy his life with the angel. If anything, he feels he is really lucky. Then we see his other classmate being worried about where he went. She still didn't get a reply after offering to make his lunch. In first grade with her parents, she visited her relatives in the next town over. She wandered off on her own and ended up getting lost. That's when this boy helped her. Tokumitsu back then certainly looked really cute. He was her first crush. But then she did not see him for 9 years, and she had even forgotten his name. When she was in high school, she once again met him, and she felt that fate had reunited them. But she has not brought up what happened 9 years ago for fear of being called a stalker. Then, out of the window, she spots Tokumitsu together with Towa. This makes her scream. Tokumitsu tells Towa to go straight back home, and also to absolutely not follow any strangers to some hotel or any other weird place. Then she holds Tokumitsu's and, with a loving look in his eyes, asks him to come home soon. Tokumitsu says he will. Then we see a really scary look in the classmates' eyes, who are shocked to see Tokumitsu meeting up with a girl. Then she also sees the angel take out her wings and fly. This makes her scream once again. Tokumitsu comes home and is welcomed happily by the Towa. He is surprised after seeing the laundry all done, especially since he never taught her how to use the washing machine. But Towa learned all that from the book The Good Kid's Guide to Life on Earth. Then he further notices that even his underwear is clean and tidy, which they normally are not, especially nowadays. Tokumitsu stuffed his underwear in the machine because he didn't expect her to do the laundry. But sadly, God had some other plans for it. Then he also notices a bear on it. Towa explains that there was a hole in his underwear, so she mended it for him. This certainly made the mood really awkward. But then again, the Towa is doing a lot of things for him, so it would be very weird for Hyperfo to focus on the underwear. However, he still needs to do something to make the situation less awkward. So he says that from now on he will wash his own underwear. Towa then thinks that maybe Tokumitsu did not like the bear and she should have stitched a bunny. But for Tokumitsu, that is not the point. Then we see Tokumitsu washing his own underwear. In fact, from that day on, washing his underwear in the sink became part of his daily routine. Then we see Tokumitsu's classmate worrying about who that Towa girl is, but maybe she is just delusional, which is why she cannot just ask about it while being so carefree. But girls cannot fly, so she thinks that it has to be delusion. However, she also never got to confirm if she could make lunch for him either. She loves him too much. But all she can do now is ask him again tomorrow. The next day, Tokumitsu does not take the lunch prepared by Towa to school, as there is no way he will be able to explain how he got it made. But this makes Towa think that he has started to hate her, especially since he also insisted on sleeping on the floor by himself last night too. And he would also not let her come to school with him. This makes the Towa cry, so Tokumitsu then takes the lunch to make her stop. Now all she wants is for Tokumitsu to come back home soon and eat dinner. She will prepare for him, but today he needs to work, so he won't be home until after 9. This makes the Towa sad, but still, Tokumitsu feels really lucky to have such an amazing Towa taking care of her. He could die happy. This happiness makes Towa also happy. Then at school, his friend once again surprises him from behind while asking to eat lunch together. His friends were not expecting Tokumitsu to bring his own lunch. Now Tokumitsu will have to explain how he got this lunch. So he just says that he saved an old lady whom he found collapsed on the street, and she was the one who gave this lunch to him as a thank you. This is a bit unbelievable, but still, his friends fell for it. But then, when the lunchbox opens, there is a heart-shaped message in it saying all the best to Tokumitsu. The angel's name, Towa, is also written on it. Her girl classmate is really worried about this one, but Tokumitsu just says that he is starving and starts eating the lunch quickly to erase the message so that he will not have to explain it. But no matter what he does to dodge the explanation, his girl classmate totally believes that a girl definitely made that lunch for him since his mom is not in town for now. Tokumitsu is feeling very worn out due to having to continue to come up with so many half-assed excuses, and it's not like he can just keep on saving old ladies every day. He has started to feel like he is just some wishy-washy loser. But still everything will be okay as long as nobody finds out that Towa-chan is an angel. Then he starts smacking his head on the pole, worrying the bystanders as he realizes that Towa thing is not even the point. He just does not want anyone to find out that he's living with a girl. Then suddenly, creepy Fortunate La Baba comes to him, saying that he has got a cloud of girl trouble hanging over his head. She further warns her that he has entered a phase of intense girl trouble. The only way for him to save himself is to end his troubles with some potent power talismans, which cost 10,000 each. Like any sane person, Tokumitsu instantly starts running away from the creepy Baba as his spiritual scamulets and started tingling. But maybe the girl trouble part is accurate. However, he still cannot consider Towa to be trouble, as she is just too cute and sweet. At work, he is told about his shift with a girl named Izumi, who got hired 2 weeks ago. Tokumitsu wonders what she is like and decides to go say hi to her. But when he opened the door, she was in the process of changing. Maybe the fact that this guy does not knock before entering, even when he is at his workplace, means that he does all this deliberately. He does say sorry, but unlike Towa, this girl gives it to him right on his cheek. Now he totally gets why Baba talked about girl trouble. Then the new girl gives him a cold pack to put on his cheek. Izumi does understand that it was her fault as well for not locking the door anyway. Then they introduce each other. She was born on Christmas, which was funny for Tokumitsu. But Izumi does not appreciate that. Then she says that they will never speak of whatever happened again before leaving after saying bye. This is still a good thing for Tokumitsu. He was worried that she would file a complaint or something. Then they work together. But whenever Tokumitsu sees her now, he just cannot get the image he saw before out of his mind. Tokumitsu punishes himself hard for this, especially after thinking about what Towa the angel will think about him if she ever finds out about it. And he still has to come up with a way to explain Towa-chan's lunch at school trouble. Then they are offered a parfait to eat before going home from work. But the cherry in it reminds Tokumitsu of the cherry he saw a bit earlier. Even Izumi is not able to take what happened earlier out of her mind. However, they both do claim that they do not remember anything, especially nothing about any cherries. Then the cooling in the room starts getting out of control. Tokumitsu gets especially worried as Izumi starts trembling. So he tries to comfort her, but she does not want him to touch her, as she is a Yukiana. some kind of Japanese spirit related to cold. Even the customers there start feeling cold due to her effect. All the ice cream gets too hard. They want the temperature to be raised. Tokumitsu was surprised for a bit to have seen a Yuki-onna. But then again, since he already saw an angel, there is no way that other spiritual beings also cannot exist. Then Izumi realizes that maybe she messed up and starts declining the fact that she is Yuki-onna and puts all the blame for cooling on some kind of broken air conditioning system. But the more Izumi panics, the more intense the snowstorm gets. So he tries to calm her down, saying that he is surprisingly okay with the supernatural. This surprises her a bit. But then their boss arrives to check on the cooling system, so he helps Izumi get out unnoticed quickly. Once they get far enough, the place starts getting warm again. Back at home, Angel Towa is playing some kind of motion control game, which also helps to get fit. After completing the game, Towa is amazed at how games in the human world are so much fun. She got totally engrossed in it. But it has gotten too late, and Tokumitsu has still not returned. Tokumitsu's classmate is unable to focus on her studies, so she decides to go out for some ice cream. Tokumitsu is still with Izumi, and he liked the parfait even though it was more like sherbet. But they do need to give the glasses back. It is also revealed that they both go to the same school. But things have certainly gotten really awkward, as all Izumi is doing is just moving her head instead of talking more freely. Then she asks if Tokumitsu really believes she is Yuki-onna. Toku replies yes. But then she wonders how he can believe such an absurd-seeming story. For this, Tokumitsu just says that he believes it because she said so, and he believes her. However, in his mind, Tokumitsu just thinks about how he was thinking that angels being real meant there would be devils too. But he certainly was not expecting a Yuki-onna. Then, after Izumi makes Toku promise that whatever she tells him will stay with him, she starts telling him more about herself. Her family's had Yuki-onna for generations. She is not sure if it is in their gene or what. But her mother and grandmother were both born Yuki-onna. When they are mad, sad, or embarrassed, they blow it up. She is awful at controlling her emotions. Her little sister and the rest of her family manage it, but she always ends up like that at the drop of a hat. So she acted aloof and standoffish and tried not to make any friends. She was alone all the time and started skipping school and stuff. But once she started high school, she thought this could not continue and tried to change. At home, all she does is read manga or watch anime. So she started working as a waitress to get used to interacting with people, and yet she still caused so much trouble just because someone saw her changing. Now she feels like she should really just hole up at home. Tokumitsu wants her to calm down, as he feels that it was his fault for walking in on her to begin with. But still, Izumi keeps on blaming herself as a lost cause. Then Tokumitsu reminds her of how she was actually trying her best. She also greeted customers with a smile too. Even though people want to change, most of them do not actually do anything about it. So Tokumitsu thinks that Izumi is amazing and definitely not a lost cause. Hearing this, she starts crying, and the blizzard around her stops as she calms down. But now Tokumitsu is really worried, thinking he made her cry by saying something insensitive again. But Izumi tells him that this is the first time anyone's reassured her like that, and she is thankful for that. Now Izumi wants to be his friend. She has never actually had any friends, so she does say that she might be terrible at friending. But that is still the meaning of the word. Friending aside, Tokumitsu accepts her offer. Even though she is a Yuki-onna and now Izumi wants him to call her Noelle, so I will also be fending her off and calling her Noelle from now on. She also wants to call Tokumitsu Shintaro, which he allows. But do not expect me to call this ex-loner loser anything other than Tokumitsu. At best, Noelle is really happy to have finally made a friend. But now Tokumitsu wonders if Yuki-onna will melt away and disappear if they are exposed. Noelle tells him that is not the case, which finally makes him calm down. But then a few feathers drop there. Towa is flying just above that place and is happy to finally have found Tokumitsu. But this is not good for Tokumitsu, as both Noelle and Towa lock eyes. And to make things worse, his classmate Satsumi is also there. His real girl troubles are about to begin, and I am all hyped for them. I appreciate you viewing my anime recap, Unruly Family. Please let me know what you think about Studio Apartment, Good Lighting, Angel included by liking, sharing, subscribing, and leaving a comment.
Take you out.